Hi, so let me walk you through the icebreaker activity. I have it on the getting started module, so when students click here, this is what they're going to see. So what I did was I provided a little bit of information on the software. I also added the links in case the students want to get a little bit more information on it. Here's a link on how to comment, and I had to go back and check those links and actually make them active. So both of the links work. Let me go back to this. And then I also added, the requirements for the activity. In this case, I want them to do a total of 2 comments. And one of them where they introduce themselves, and then the second one as they leave a comment for their peers. And as they're introducing themselves, the main prompt that I'm asking is for them to share a memory of a class that they enjoyed. I also added here the main requirements for the activity, which happens to be, basically the 2 comments. And then I also added for this assignment, in order to make instructions a little bit clear, the fact that they may have to refresh the page. This is because the first time I was introduced to this software, I think I left the assignment on and this part goes away. So I was a little bit confused about that. And then also I just added this picture here so that when they load the assignment, this is where they're going to be placing their comment. So let me open up the actual icebreaker activity. And this is what they're going to be actually seeing. And I think I'm still recording. So I already did my first message there.
Hi class, for this activity, it's going to have 2 components. So you're going to make 2 posts. On the first post, please introduce yourself and then share a memory of a class that you enjoyed. And please tell us why this class was memorable to you. And then the second post, please leave a voice or video message to a peer introducing yourself in a comment, highlighting something about your peer's contribution that resonates to you.
I also made a second comment where I'm actually replying to the post.
Hi class, I'm going to start with sharing and responding to the prompt that I posted. And one of the classes that was memorable to me is a class that I took back in I think it was 2003 or 2004. I can't really remember the semester. And this class I took it at CSU Stan State, and it was a class of introduction to, it was an upper division general ed, and it was an introduction to geology, but the main theme was earthquakes and volcanoes. The name of the professor was Dr. Fariz. And one of the reasons that this class was memorable to me was because back in 2003, it was the first class that as a student, we had the idea of, we were, at that point, cell phones were actually easier to get, and not any specific cell phone, but a cell phone that you could take a picture. So the idea was in that class that we would take notes, but then also we would take pictures of the notes that the professor will do. So in the class, there was no textbook that we used. The professor actually created all of his sketches about basically volcanoes and any topic in there. Everything was made of sketches that he created. So we would do our own creation of the sketch, and then we would take a picture. And it was the first time that I remember we were using technology. Also, back then, they were not, the school didn't have online classes, they had televised classes. So the main course was in Stan State, and our class was being televised in the campus in Stockton. So we would have to drive all the way to Stockton, and then basically, instead of driving all the way to Stan State, we were scheduled in the Stockton campus. So it was part of the idea of introducing technology. And back then, they were online classes, but they were very few. So not like what you see now as a hybrid or online. Back then, it was televised classes. And like as I mentioned before, it was one of the first classes where technology was being introduced, or it was being introduced a lot in the sense of distant learning. And also, as a students, we were able to use cell phones for taking notes. It was, I believe, the first class that I saw somebody writing on a computer. Back then, I was actually not sure what they were doing, but they were writing on the computer. So this idea of electronic notes, it was brand new. We hadn't seen it as students. Nowadays, well, we use technology every day, but I was able to see how technology was being introduced.
And that's what my icebreaker activity will look from the student end. Let me know what you think.